The day Daniel walked into the pharmacy and found his own name on the death list, he knew someone wanted to destroy him. It was a regular Tuesday. Nothing special about it. Daniel Harris was a 42-year-old accountant. He had a small house, 2 daughters, and a simple life. That morning he stopped at Green Cross Pharmacy on his way to work. He needed his blood pressure medicine. He gave his prescription card to the pharmacist. The man scanned it, stopped, and looked up slowly. "Sir," the pharmacist said in a low voice, "do you know that your insurance account says you are dead?" Daniel smiled. "What?" "Your ID number. It is marked dead. 3 days ago." Daniel laughed. The pharmacist did not laugh back.
Daniel spent his lunch break on the phone. The insurance company said the same thing. The government records office said the same thing. His bank account was frozen. The message on the screen said, "Pending estate review." According to every office and every system in the city of Manchester, Daniel Harris was already dead. "This is crazy," he told his colleague Tom, putting printed papers on the table. "Someone filed a death certificate using my name." Tom looked at the papers. "Who would do this?" "I don't know," Daniel pressed his lips together. "But someone does."
That evening, Daniel went to the police station. A young officer sat at the front desk. He listened to Daniel's story with a calm face. "So you are saying you are alive?" the officer said. "Yes." "And someone said you are not?" "Yes, exactly." "Sir, these kinds of mistakes happen. Just go to the Civil Records Office with your original documents and—" "This is not a mistake," Daniel said. "Someone went to a government office 3 days ago. They carried a fake death certificate with my name, my ID number, my home address. That is not a small error. That is a crime." The officer wrote something in his notebook. Daniel left with a case number and very little hope. That night, Sarah, his wife, sat across from him at the dinner table. The girls were sleeping. The house was quiet. "Who has copies of your ID documents?" she asked. "Nobody. They're in the safe." "Old copies? From job applications or forms?" Daniel thought carefully. "My property lawyer? My old company? The bank?" He stopped talking. "And?" Sarah asked. "And my brother Kevin. 2 years ago, he needed my documents for a shop loan. I gave him a full set of copies." Sarah said nothing for a moment. "Do you think he—" "I don't know."
The next morning, Daniel called Kevin. His brother picked up quickly. His voice was relaxed and friendly. "Daniel, I was going to call you. How are you, brother?" "Not well," Daniel said slowly. "My bank account is frozen. Someone filed a death certificate in my name. Did you hear anything about this?" A short pause. Very short, but Daniel noticed it. "What? No! That is terrible! Who would do such a thing?" "I am trying to find out. Do you still have the copies of my documents?"
"Yes, of course. They are locked away safely. Daniel, you know me. I would never—"
"I know," Daniel said. "I know." But he held the phone to his ear a few extra seconds.
Daniel hired a lawyer and paid in cash because his accounts were frozen. Together, they started pulling at threads. The fake death certificate had been filed at a small government office 40 kilometres outside Manchester. The signatures on the paper belonged to real people, a neighbour, a shopkeeper, people whose names had been copied or forged. A clerk at the records office gave them one small detail in exchange for a small payment. The man who filed the papers was average height, clean-shaven, and wearing glasses. Kevin wore glasses, but so did Daniel's old business partner, Richard. 3 years ago, Daniel had reported Richard for money problems inside their shared accounting firm in London. Richard had lost his professional license because of it, and a legal case against Richard was still open, a case where Daniel was the main witness. A dead man cannot be a witness.
Daniel returned to the police station. This time he brought his lawyer, his documents, and a name. The officer leaned forward in his chair. Richard Coleman. He had access to my documents through our old firm records, Daniel said. He had a strong reason, and the timing is important. The death certificate was filed 2 weeks before the court hearing about his case. That is a very serious accusation, the officer said. It is a very serious crime, Daniel replied. Then came the twist. 3 days later, the records clerk called Daniel again. His voice was low and fast. The same man came back yesterday, the clerk said. He tried to cancel the death certificate. He said it was a mistake, but our system automatically starts a review for any cancellation request. We have him on camera. The photo arrived on Daniel's phone 20 minutes later. Daniel opened it. He sat very still. The man in the photo was not Richard. It was a face Daniel had known his whole life. A face from childhood, from family dinners, from 40 years of shared memories. Kevin was looking directly into the camera. His face showed the expression of a man who thought he was almost safe. The story came out slowly, then all at once. Kevin's shop loan had gone very wrong. He was deep in debt with no way out. He had discovered that if Daniel was legally declared dead, he could use a fake legal paper to take control of a small property their father had left for both of them. Just that one property, just enough money to pay his debts and breathe again. He had not wanted Daniel physically hurt. He only wanted him erased on paper for a short time, just long enough to take the property and fix everything quietly. But then the guilt came, or perhaps the fear. Something brought him back to that records office to cancel what he had done. He walked in, stood in front of the camera, and without knowing it, handed everything to the police. Daniel looked at the photograph for a long time before making any calls. At the hearing, Daniel gave his full statement. He answered every question honestly. He did not look at his brother sitting in the back of the room. Afterward, his lawyer walked beside him down the courthouse steps. "You could have pushed for the harshest punishment," the lawyer said. "You chose not to. Why?" Daniel stopped and looked out at the street. "He made a terrible mistake," Daniel said. "A selfish and stupid mistake. But in the end, he went back. He tried to fix it. Too late and badly, but he tried. I told the court the full truth. All of it. That is all I can do." He began walking again. "Honesty is not something you use only when it helps you," he said. "You use it even when it is hard. Especially when it is hard." Moral: no lie stays hidden forever. Sooner or later, the truth walks through the door. Sometimes wearing glasses, sometimes caught on camera. Be honest from the start. It is always the easier road in the end.